Money is not the measure of happiness, or at least it doesn't have to be. Money is important, we all need it, but I don't need money to be a giving and generous person. And the best things in life are not dependent on my income level. I used to make $20,000 a year, and at the time, any amount of financial giving felt like it cost the world. When I gave gifts or money or opportunities, it was usually because I felt obligated or pressured or embarrassed. And that's no way to give. I was also really bad at receiving. Whenever someone was generous with me, I didn't appreciate it. Well, I appreciated it momentarily when I was receiving that generosity, but I wasn't appreciating that quality in them, and I wasn't thinking, hey, that's a quality I should pick up on. The first time that changed was when I was doing a 6-week gig out of town, and Bill and Lynda hosted me in their home. They opened their home to me, someone they barely knew. They shared meals with me, and they treated me like family. The amazing thing was that they gave joyfully. They were generous because they wanted to be, and it didn't come without cost. It cost them time, privacy, money, but I learned from watching them that I too could find joy in being generous. And while generosity can include financial giving, that's not what it's about. Generosity is a mindset where I'm focused on the needs of others and I value their needs above my own. I think everybody cares about others, but few people prioritize the needs of others above their own. I definitely have not done that for most of my life, but I learned that there was something better than my way. I have 6 ways I've learned I can be generous that someone with no money can do. I can be a generous coworker, going above and beyond in the workplace instead of just doing what's required. I can be generous with patience. Some people never stop talking, are boring, or take a really long time to get to the point. And I used to avoid these conversations like the plague, but I realized that offering patience in these circumstances, to see and hear people who are usually brushed off by others, is important. I can be a generous roommate. Whether I live with roommates or with family, there are endless opportunities for me to make life more positive for the people I live with through acts of service. I can be generous to the lonely. I went to a new high school my junior year, and that experience taught me that if I see someone who is lonely or isolated, I ought to be the person to reach out and connect with that person because I understand how meaningful it was to receive that generosity from others. I can be generous in helping out. When I would go over to people's homes for dinner, I would usually offer to contribute or help clean up, but usually I would get a response like, "Oh no, I've got it, you just enjoy." And instead of helping anyways, I would just accept the answer I wanted to hear. I didn't really want to help out, so that was fine with me. Ugh, sorry everyone, don't like that was my attitude. But now I know that it's better to look for opportunities to help instead of avoiding them. I can be generous with my preferences. If I prefer strategy board games, but my friends prefer party games, or if my family prefers going to the beach and I prefer hiking in the mountains, I can choose their preferences over mine, knowing that they're going to take joy in those experiences. And here is the bonus way that makes any generous choice increasingly more generous. Being generous when people don't deserve it. It's easier to give to people I like, to people who are kind, and to people who are generous with me. But it is difficult to be generous with people who don't deserve it. But I have received generosity from people when I have not deserved it, and it's hypocritical of me to withhold that from others when it's been freely given to me. And I'm referring to both people who have been generous to me when I didn't deserve it, and God, who forgave me when I didn't deserve it. And what I've realized is that giving when it's not deserved is pretty much the core of what love is. And love is at the core of generosity. I look back on my life and I'm like, I missed so many opportunities to be a generous person, and I just wasn't. I hope this is helpful for you. Hopefully you can be generous sooner in your life than I was. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't already.